Hey there, Plan Bers. Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Plan B Success. I love my job. I'm also a writer, coach, and podcaster. And every day at work is an adventure in creativity and learning new things about myself. I feel like I've found my calling in life. And I know that this is what I want to do for the rest of it. But when you've worked as long as I have, there are days when you wonder if this is really what you're supposed to be doing with your life. So when one of those days comes along, and they do come along, I try to remember that feeling of uncertainty about what's next in order to help me push through them. It's not always easy. Sometimes these days can last weeks or even months before they pass without any new ideas or opportunities presenting themselves. But then something happens. Sometimes we get lucky enough to be working on something we really care about, while also making money doing so. Other times we end up finding ourselves doing something else entirely, after years spent building up skill sets which were only valuable within certain contexts. The first step is to start with what you know. If you're a developer, this means starting with the language or platform that you know and have experience with. For example, Ruby on Rails. If your passion is writing and publishing content online, this might be Instagram or Medium. This also means starting with the skills that are most effective for your new gig. If writing blog posts is what gets your blood pumping, then try finding something similar to write articles about, even if it's not directly related to the gig economy itself. Make sure your resume is easy to read and understand. Your resume is a compilation of the things that make you unique, so it's important that it reads well on paper. It should be no more than 1 page long, so try not to include any information that doesn't directly relate to what employers are looking for in candidates. That is, don't list too much experience. The goal here is not only to highlight your skills and experience, but also show how those skills translate into jobs available at this time and place, and what kind of work someone like you could do if hired by this employer specifically. Example, I'm great at communicating with clients. Before you begin, it's important that you define your niche. What problem are you trying to solve? Do not start working on a solution until you have figured out the problem first. This can be as simple as thinking about how much money people spend on fitness equipment every year, and then asking yourself what kind of results would meet their needs in 3 months or 6 months' time. Once you have a clear idea of what it is that people need help with and why they need it, then it's time for some hard work. The first step in transitioning into the gig economy is to master your art. Practice, practice, and more practice. Learn from others, but don't copy their work. Be original and create something that only you can do and will do. You don't have to be an expert at everything. It's okay if you're not. Just focus on learning as much possible about how to make your own stuff look good, because that's what matters most when it comes down to making money on Etsy or wherever else this thing goes down after school ends. Being able to produce high-quality goods with minimal effort, which means less time spent away from friends, family, while still maintaining enough independence so that they feel like they're not just paying someone else's bills anymore, because they'll always know where their paycheck came from every month once they have gotten used enough with spending time making art instead. The most important thing when transitioning into the gig economy is making connections. You cannot get anything done without them, and they're essential for finding gigs that pay well and are fun. Here's how it works. Look for people who are looking for workers like yourself, that is, freelancers. This might help you connect with new potential employers whom you might want to work with in the future. It will also help you find out about new opportunities as well as learn how other freelancers operate their businesses, so that when someone does contact you directly asking if they could hire you, you'll know exactly what questions, requirements should be answered before agreeing on terms of employment. If you're working in the gig economy, it's important to take care of yourself. You don't want to burn out and end up with a case of the panda eyes or worse. To avoid overworking and staying up all night crunching numbers for some new client, make sure that you have time for breaks and self-care. This can mean taking an hour or two at lunch or scheduling regular coffee dates with your friends so that you are not always working hard on your laptop all day long, or even worse, working from home. Taking care of yourself also includes eating well, sleeping enough, exercising regularly, both mentally and physically, doing things that make life fun outside work hours, such as watching movies together or going out dancing with friends. When you're able to make a living out of something you love, it's a pretty great feeling. But if this is your first time working in the gig economy, there are some important things to know about how it works and what you should expect as part of your career path. The gig economy is here to stay and growing fast. It's not going away anytime soon. Instead, it's becoming more widespread every day as more people choose to work for themselves rather than traditional employers. And with those numbers comes opportunity. There are countless ways for people who want something different from their careers but don't necessarily want traditional jobs either. Or maybe even don't need one. They can find success through freelancing or starting their own businesses on top of making money doing what they love, like writing blog posts. If you love what you do, the gig economy can be a great way to make money from it. It's important to remember that it will take work and discipline to succeed in this space. But if you're willing to put in the time, then there's no reason why anyone cannot find success. You don't have to be an expert at something when starting out. Just focus on improving your skills over time until they're good enough for clients who need what you offer now or later down your career. Hey Plan Bers, I hope you're enjoying these episodes. Make sure that you subscribe to Plan B Success Podcast and the YouTube channel and leave a comment. Let's have a discussion, a dialogue about what you love and what else can I bring in your service. Thank you.